Hey everyone, what's going on? Greg here again from Team Blast. I want to share my thought process when I come across a map like this. The keyword here is safe locksmith. So I chose a random company and I'm going to assume they're not getting many phone calls for this particular type of service. If they're looking to get more calls for people who need access to their safe, this would definitely benefit them and it'll probably benefit your business too if you have the same type of issue. So to start, the company I chose here is just random. It's called South Metro Locksmith. And I chose them because they have a location, but they're not ranking very well. So I'm going to search for them right over here, South Metro Locksmith. The very first thing that I do is I'm going to click on the compare locations tab and compare them against the top listing over here. Goodfellow has if you round up, a 44% share of local voice in the area for the keyword safe locksmith. They're probably getting a lot of phone calls for that compared to South Metro Locksmith, where they're getting a total of 0%. So a couple things that stand out to me. Number one is the number of reviews. Goodfellow has 283 compared to 20 reviews. That's a gap. Reviews are not the most important thing, but I believe getting reviews both from Google, but also from places like Trustpilot or Trust Index or Facebook or Yelp, TripAdvisor, anything like that. These are all clues and signals and ways to increase your dwell time for how much people are going to be spending on your profile because they want to, read reviews. The second thing is the categories. So for my local SEO clients, I'm constantly testing this, and that's why like in these videos that I record, I give this as a suggestion, but it's really worth testing. But basically, look at all the secondary categories Goodfellow has versus South Metro. You can really see the difference of what they list off versus what South Metro does. And the real thing that I want to explain is that one of them is security system installation service compared to South Metro does not have that. So it's not exactly a safe lockout, but I do think that might be interesting to experiment with. So again, if you're trying to rank for your particular keyword, you might want to do this gap analysis and say, okay, got it. Maybe I should try the secondary category that might rank me a little bit better. Next, you want to click on this 18 listen. So this is exactly where their location is. They're position 18. So I can see all these competitors over here, who's ranking above them. And then I can do the whole view on Google and, look at the competitors together. But this is really critical because if they're not really ranking directly at their location, their position 18, there's a lot of things we need to make changes onto their Google My Business profile. So let's start taking a look at that specifically. So let's go right to their page over here and let's, bring in, how about this? Let's go to, looks like they are service area business. So let's bring it into Google, click on this. This is their listing over here. Now, a couple things that stand out to me. First is they don't have much of a description. So that's pretty key. So if you want to search for safe lockout, you'll see that keyword does not show up at all within their description. So that's one area right there that we can already add right in this description. It's very, very small. You would actually want to say things like you do, residential, commercial, etc., but also mention the phrase safe lockout as well. Number two, let's look at the number of reviews. So it's good that they are responding to the reviews, but look how old these reviews are. Everything is a year or so ago. Again, I think this is the dwell time factor that goes into rankings. So users might see that they aren't really getting reviews as of late. Therefore, the rankings might drop because it doesn't seem as a business that's currently in play. Let's look at a few more areas as well. So there's actually a lot that's missing on this profile. So there's no question and answers. So again, if they offered safe lockout, I would actually ask that as a question directly in their question and answer section and say, do you provide safe lockout? And if so, you would list it off. So for example, if I went to TM Blast over here, I list that off directly. I have these questions and answers. So you click on see all, and I'll actually even, ask them these questions. So for them, if they offer safe lockout, I would say that directly in the question. I would answer it. Same with my business too. I always talk about just frequent questions that I get and I ask and I answer. You can also make a product listing over here. So I like to do this. This is a great visual for users. So for example, my NYC local SEO service, it talks about what I provide, and also you can visit the page and you go directly now to my website. So if you go back to their account over here, same thing. You can list off your products. Again, if they offer safe lockout or safe locksmith, list it off as a product, feature that directly in there. And then finally, one more thing too. Let's just look at their website real quick. So let's open this up and let's just see. So South Metro Mobile Locksmith, and let's see if they even have the word safe. They do. It's actually really hard to see. Wow. It's like a gray text on a white background. The point is they do safe locks. So they obviously do some safe lockout. You would want to have a dedicated landing page about that on your webpage too, really, create that connection. So again, with TM Blast, the example that I gave here was NYC local SEO. If you visit my site, it's going to bring you to the NYC local SEO page. So I talk about exactly what I provide. That's kind of what you want to do too with this. You want to have a page that goes directly to your service. And again, really with the locksmith industry, a lot of people are not going to necessarily read these pages, but from Google AIs and Chat GPTs and even the heat map rankings, you need to really have that connection to show, okay, we definitely do this service. You might list off as a bullet point, which is why Google's not as convinced that you provide that. So have the dedicated landing page. And then finally, let's just go back into the competitor report over here. So let's say you make all these changes. So you added the question answers, you added the products, you added it to your description. I'm sure you can add it to your service area. You create a dedicated landing page about Safe Locksmith. What I would do next is on a weekly basis, just keep rerunning the scans within Local Falcon, see if we're able to improve. Really, the most important metric here is going to be ARP. That's going to stand for average rank position, because if you're not ranking at all in the top 3, it's going to take a while to get into that mix. But I would keep running the scans on a weekly basis, see if those changes that suggested are trying to move the needle. And if they are, you can get a little bit more aggressive, see if you kind of push the envelope a little bit further, if that might make a positive impact or not for your business. But really, this is quite common when you come across, again, if you come across, let's look them up one more time, South Metro Locksmith. I onboard a lot of clients, and sometimes I do see this where they'll say their target keyword or keywords is this, or in this particular radius. I'll run the scan and it comes back with 20 plus, which means we have a lot to do to rank better, to get more website clicks, impressions, phone calls, and customers as well. So anyway, that's just my thought process. I hope this video was interesting and helpful. Let me know if you have any questions, and as always, have a good rest of your day.